Good morning and good afternoon in Eastern Canada and States. So I would like to welcome everybody for this morning's meditation on Satipatthana and teachings. So first we meditate. We will practice mindfulness of breathing this moment. Anapanasati, and anapana is breathing. In Pali word, Sanskrit word is anaprana with the R sound. Sati is mindfulness. Tibetan word is Temba Nyawar Yakpa. So, Puripunda Samala drink Teshituli Shuguya, during the Pio Tuji Che, that day Shoge, no Temba Nyawar Yaba, Yi Yishachene, and Yumuch, Yumuch, as a gum Jagi, Aletamboti, Lutemba Nyawar Shabara, Lutemba Nyawar Shabagum Galani, Ukti, Yumuch. So when we practice mindfulness of the body, the first one of the four mindfulness, the first one is mindfulness of body. When we start or when we begin with the mindfulness of body, we begin with mindfulness of breathing. Breathing is always very important meditation because we breathe in and out all the time. And breathing meditation is wonderful meditation. It is kind of like a good tool. It helps you to calm down. It helps you to cool down. It's like you have a fan that is blowing above your head, and then it helps you to cool down, right? Or you have a table fan, or you have traditional like hand fans, like Japanese fan, or other fans from Sri Lanka or India, and whichever fan you're using, it cools down. And because of wind, or when you're sitting in the forest, beautiful wind blowing through the forest, and cools down like that. This is inner tool to cool down our body and also calm down our mind. This is and also it helps you. Mindfulness breathing help you to focus your mind on to the object of meditation as to settling your mind. Zadan come to the Kangama, the Lurchin, any dinner the Karashu, Sivu Chagir, Tamans Bergil, Sivu Sigara, Tamo, Sivu Chagir, Dan Alo, Subunam, Lamsambe, Zubotam Chagmarwa, Sivu Chagir. The same day, Lurch, same day, Kuyang Buyang, and the same day, so Gomja Sigi, you tell her, Miko Dead, Miko Dead. So you practice mindfulness breathing. It helps you to be able to focus your meditation. And this method is a practice. All the Buddhist traditions, and particularly in the Theravada Buddhist tradition, Sri Lanka, Burma, Myanmar now, and Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and some parts of Vietnam. In the old days, Sri Vijaya Empire, during the time of Atisha Dipankara, went to Sumatra to visit his teacher, Dharmakirti. Buddhism was flourishing in Sumatra and Java and Malay Peninsula. and people practice anapanasati. So today, these practices are flourishing all over the world. And let's do a little bit of meditation on mindfulness breathing now. I don't need to explain all the details, you know how to do it. And any Jonathan and Indian some Mongosho by the channels of changing Maro, to Alias Kuzuya Tuzu, it's a song. So you sit straight, keep your spine straight, and sit on meditation cushion or on bench or chair. Relax your body and stay in the present moment. Keep your mind in the present moment. That this means do not go to the past, do not go to the future, and stay here. Don't think about anything else. And the only thing you do is focus your mind on the breath. Breathe in through the nostrils. As you breathe in, your abdomen is rising. And as you breathe out, your abdomen is falling. Feel the rising and falling sensation of the breath, sensation in your abdomen, rising, falling, rising. Ta undu ya nala tembe gavla, any udma chin and undu togo yara togo desya karishorta, jang sura desya to bumbucha des jang. U pata megala togo nala despa, nala pa chi karishorta. Sì, sanamento te non fate cloroni mangiare già sopravvolte tutti. E ne ha uya tema do padus. Ci ya padang de ma dang de lu o tu ci mi pa chesa de sem tesa de di togol de. U de no ne ya yo ma ya o. Au yung dan de la kashi u nyogu nyogu yung re kashi ya kale kale yung ta che ba yo mare e ti si na ya ro. Iba tesa de u ma de shenda la deba da mong ba de samudaya yo mare. O tu. Tati gom se de gom je du so se negab de devo and then they sajin de para negab de they are. So focus your mind on the breath. We now practice mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati. The subject of the talk is 9 channel ground contemplations. So this talk is this topic is serious topic practice. This topic is this subject is object of contemplation, meditation, for remembering impermanence of the body. And this is part of mindfulness of the body. And to recognize the nature of this body of ours. Also, the purpose of this meditation is for overcoming attachment to this body, overcoming fear to this body, overcoming resentment to this body, overcoming neurosis to this body. Mainly, at the time of Buddha, this subject is mainly taught for the Buddhist monks and nuns to overcome attachment to the body of one's own or somebody else, and to prevent destructions. So in Tibetan word we call midupa gomba. So tangai bagito tesui tanandi gomdi and 9 channel ground contemplations. Tutu yora tutu nala dene gomjan. Gomja dan jasi yutile dan meneji gudwa. That tutu gom godenga tutu tawande chibone chire. Kaisen midupa gomba metabada metemba. Ta gom any ninjung chiagi karsho ju. Otu ta namji tindingazo lamrim nala yorwa chiwa metaba gomba. Otu chinta yute manzu subudela any endochachi subudela kondrochi subudela yachi karsota chi ndamane si nyumun ndamane chigi yorwa soso subude mishendala subula chawachi subunzi budindela chawachi tindi inzani sanji shaji wakabla ani chö songsa de zobo de kusho tsuda gindimba gilonda gitsuda ani gilomada genimada atende la pije songa imbinda samdo ente jibu mareta isha shola de mije pomo samala songarwa. So as I said, when the Buddha was alive, he taught mainly for the monks and nuns and to remember impermanence of body and life, and also to cultivate renunciation. Okay, so today in the West, there are many people who are kind of like a monks, nuns, and I noticed that because I've been in the West for so many years now, over 40 years, and there are lots of single people, single man, single woman, and not only that, there are some people, their mind is like a monk, even though they're married and they have family, but somehow the mind is always like kind of like what I call monkish. And I won't talk about that stuff, all the details. I mean, I don't want to explain that unnecessary. And so, as I said last week, this topic is kind of serious. I would not talk about this in front of children And people who are emotionally very vulnerable about, about, how should I say, when you talk about death and dying, cemeteries, charnel ground, graveyard, and human bodies, this and that. So if you are a bit too sensitive, emotional, then you don't need to listen this. Don't listen, please. And don't, you may stir up your some fear and so on and so forth. But otherwise, you could listen this. So as I said last week, this subject is like a church practice because the Buddha was talking about the real thing about our life, our body. If you lots of Westerners, most Westerners go to school. I assume that you study anatomy and about human body and biology and so on and so forth, and about body structures and bones and flesh, tendons, and muscles, and so on. You when you become a doctor, you have to know all these things, right? Even a therapist and physiotherapist, you need to know all this stuff and body interior, what do you call it, structures, you know. So anyway, now I will read the sutra itself. 9 channel ground contemplation. Again, a monk asked if he were to see a corpse thrown aside in a channel ground, 1, 2 or 3 days dead, bloated, discolored, festering, compresses this body with that, thinking this body is of the same nature, it will become like that. It is not exempt from that fate. So the Buddha said, you're a monk, okay? When you go to cemetery, go there, you will see corpse thrown out there. And it has been there for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And some of the bodies are bloated and discolored and so on and so forth. So, well, if you are in India, if you go down the Ganges River in Varanasi, you see the bodies right there. They cremate the body. Before cremating the body, you see the body right there. And one time I was there with a group of people. We did a pilgrimage, and we saw the corpses burning. And one lady, she was so sad. She was emotionally quite disturbed, and she couldn't look. She couldn't hang around. She has to go back quickly back to the hotel, jump on the rickshaw, and she cried on the way. And it was a quite a kind of traumatic, right? Because you never seen like that in the West. But in India, it's very natural. Everything, you bring the body down to the Ganges, and then you cremate it on the pile of the wood, and then you put the ashes into the Ganges River, Holy Ganga. So according to Hindu custom, you have to cremate the body, put the ashes in the Ganges, then purify all your karmas, all your sins, all karmas gone. The only 2 bodies you don't cremate is holy man, sadhu, or infant, babies and toddlers. So what you do is just drop in the river. And so this is kind of serious, right? And then what happens? In the river, they have fish, they have many animals, and all kinds of animals. They eat the corpses, and it's all sort of recycled, that's how it is. So when they cremate the body, you sit around. The only thing you can't do is you should not take photos. That's considered very rude. Otherwise, you can sit down, say mantras. I saw children running around playing. It's not a big deal. It's a natural thing. That's how it should be, right? We're all born, we live, then we get old, and one day we die, right? So it is quite shocking, very powerful meditation, but it's also wonderful meditation, wonderful experience. So this is what the Buddha said. The body is discolored. And so then the monk should think, meditate like this, thinking this body is the same nature, this body, right, of my body right now, life, this body, life body, it will become like that corpse. It is not exempt from the fate. This is the fate of the body. There is no other options to preserve the body. You can cremate the body, you can do sky burial like we do in Tibet. You take the body up in the mountain and leave it on the certain areas, and the vultures come and they will devour and eat and recycle, and no garbage, no contaminations. And you give your body to the vultures and benefit for the vultures. I heard a beautiful story. One fisherman in Australia, and he died and he got old, and he said, I did fishing all my life. I ate fish, sold fish, and now I want you to take my body to the middle of, far away from the coast, and dump it in the ocean so that sharks and fish will eat my body. But I guess I was told it is illegal to do that in Australia. And if you're in India, you can do that. Take it down to the Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea or wherever. And so this is the fate of the body. Even if you mummify this body, like the Egyptians do, and the Tibetans do, and way back in before Genghis Khan time, the Hunu people and Modo Shannon people, they used to do mummified bodies. And also down in South America, Atacama Desert in northern Chile, they mummify the bodies all over the world. Even if you mummify the body, slowly the body will disintegrate. This is how it is. So the point of this here is that Buddha said, you should meditate right now. This body has the same nature like that corpse. It's bloated and discolored. And so it is very powerful. It's kind of will make you feel nervous or uncomfortable, right? But this is the point. So why are we doing this? This is going to happen anyways. So why are we doing it right now? Well, the point is, it's going to happen anyways. Well, not going to be polluted or discolored somewhere in the West, but you cremate it or you bury it, right? But talking about the same nature, right? So this is going to happen. But the thing is, in our daily life, we don't think about the impermanence of life, impermanence of the body. And due to this body, we develop so many neuroses, so many hang-ups, so many attachments, complicating, make our mind become very complicated and become very rigid. And I like this, I don't like this, I want this for my body and this and that. And we become very so busy, and our mind is occupied with so many things about to do with this body, right? Think about the people who do cosmetic surgeries and chopping up your body and keep trying to do something all the time, wasting so much. Well, I shouldn't say wasting, but spend a lot of money. And what are we doing this? I'm not criticizing these people, but as I'm talking about, they do what they want to do. We live in a free society. Of course, I have nothing against them, and they can do whatever they want. But as a meditator, as a Dharma practitioner, as a Buddhist meditator, serious practitioner, why not spend more time on practice, meditation, meditate on impermanence and death and dying and renunciation and bodhicitta and shunyata, three principal paths. First renunciation, then bodhicitta, then shunyata, right? So in order to practice renunciation, you have to make yourself feel, I want to renounce this world and this life, this body, everything is impermanent. Everything is transient. We live in a transient world. We are here only, we are visitor in this planet. We are visitors. When you die, your life is expired. J. Krishnamurti, Indian man who was a philosopher, lived in Ohio, California, and very famous. And he wrote there are many books. When he was dying in the hospital, one of his old friends and said, Krishnamurti ji, are you dying? He said, I am expired. I'm expired. It's like that. You expire your visa, right? So we're visitors on the planet. Some people say, why there are so many people on this earth and more people? We got 7 billion of people, right? Why? And more than ever before. Well, we have a lot of visitors from other planets. A lot of immigrants coming to Canada and America and Australia, right? Every month, every year, and before this COVID came out, and immigrants, right? Like that from other planets coming here, this planet. Then also some point from this planet, move on to other planet. There's a fluctuating due to collective karma, global karma, world karma. This is how it works. How it works. Karma from the karma. It is karma, right? It's not good or bad, but that's how it is. So we are transient. Our life is transient. We are here visitors, and this is important to think, right? As I said before, Kora samsara is like the banana plant, a banana tree. No essence. Life has no really essence. Some people ask, what is the purpose of life? Some people say no purpose. Life has no purpose. And some people say, oh yes, life has lots of purposes. This and that. I won't go into the details. From Dharma point of view, what is the purpose? Well, there is a purpose. Yeah, we're here. We are not alone. We reborn in this earth. And the purpose is to learn, to progress our consciousness, to become enlightened, and to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. You practice Dharma every day. This is the purpose of life. As a Buddhist, okay, I can't speak for other people, non-Buddhists and atheists and so forth, and I don't know what they believe or disbelieve, whatever. But as a Buddhist, we do have a purpose. And yeah, so of course, if you're a bodhisattva and reincarnated, highly qualified master, then you have many other greater purpose, right? You came here to preserve Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha and pervade the Dharma and so on and so forth. Okay, so I will now move on, go through the sutra. So he abides contemplating body as a body internally, externally, and both internally and externally. And he abides independent, not clinging to anything in the world, and that monks is how a monk abides contemplating body as a body. So this time Buddha was talking to the monk, but it's also for the nuns, for everybody. So one should meditate on our body externally, internally, and this body is impermanent. Okay, so this is a mindfulness of body, and this is very raw, very serious, right? Like you eating raw carrot, eating raw lobo, daikons, and raw vegetable, okay, like broccoli or something you're eating, right? It's kind of raw, right? Very, very strong, powerful meditation. So, what is the effect of this meditation? The effect of this meditation helps you to understand nature of the body, impermanence of life. And the effect of this is you get the glimpse of realization of renunciation. And the effect of this meditation is that you can have more, you can develop more compassion for other human beings, other people. They are suffering, their body is suffering. For example, man or woman who got into motorcycle accidents or motor vehicle accidents, and the body is hurting, constantly hurting, the hips, shoulders, knees, ankles, okay, hurting, and back, lower back, spine hurting. Due to that inside kidney, lung hurting, suffering, impermanence, suffering, right? This very moment. I have a friend, student, who got into motor vehicle accident. She is suffering tremendously. So this is the impermanence of the body right now. So I feel very sorry for her. We did healing medicine for the healing practice the night before, here, right here. And other people got also problems like prostate cancer and breast cancer and uterus cancer and stomach cancer, brain tumor, so on and so forth. This is the body. This right now is happening, right? So I have more compassion for them. You could have more compassion when you study Satipatthana Sutra, when you're talking about body as a body, meditate on the body, practice mindfulness of the body, internally and externally. See, if you're a doctor, you're a nurse, or your nurse is an aide, you know more about the body's pain and ache. If you're a massage therapist, shiatsu therapist, acupuncturist, you know how much pain is there. You can feel by your hands. You can feel the energy and the suffering, right? So, so this is happening. This is reality. This is why the Buddha said it is not exempt from that faith. Okay. Again, a monk asks, if he were to see a corpse in a charnel ground thrown aside, skeleton with flesh and blood, connected by sinews, fleshless skeleton, smeared with blood, connected by sinews, a skeleton detached from the flesh and blood, connected by sinews, randomly connected bones, scattered in all directions, hand bones here, foot bones there, shin bones here, thigh bones there, hip bones here, spine here, a skull there, compares this body with that. Compared to this body with that. This is how the monk or nun should meditate. Okay, so this is very powerful meditation. This is exactly Chöd practice. As I said, Chöd, we Tibetan Buddhist tantric practice, we do Chöd. We pray to Machi Glabden, do Chöd sadhana, beating the drums, blowing Thai bone trumpet. So this is very powerful meditation. So here, you go to cemetery. Now you see fleshless skeleton smeared with blood, connected with sinews, skeleton detached, flesh and bones, and so on and so forth. So I won't go through this again. And there is Also, in India, they have certain sadhus. They call Angora sadhus. Angora sadhus are very serious sadhus. They live in the bank of Ganges rivers, and they live in the bank of Yamuna rivers. And in the old days, they live in the bank of Hindu Kush rivers. Now there's nobody there. You can't do that in Pakistan. Not many Hindus. And in the old days, yes. And then also, in Bangladesh and so forth. So these Angora sadhus, they meditate, they sit in the bank of the Ganges River. They eat food in a skull cups and whatever. And they put ashes on their bodies, smear them on the bodies. And anyway, so this meditate, when you meditate like this, you see, very powerful. Then the Buddha said, compares this body with that, compared to this body like that. So imagine inside, inside, right now, I have skull right here. I got spine bones, I got arm bones, I got hand bones, I got elbow bones, I got ankle bones, I got thigh bone, and kneecap, and so on and so forth. All these bones, they're attached to the tendons, the muscles, blood, and so on and so forth, right here. So do I need to actually go and meditate in channel ground? No, you don't need to. Because you think, well, this is what Buddha said. Now, what about do I go? Where is the channel ground with all the bones and scattered with the blood, without blood, and so on? So you can't find that in the West. Yes, in India you can. You go to Mumbai, Zoroastrian people in Mumbai, they do sky burial. You can see the bones in a certain area. The vultures coming around, flying around to drop bones, sometimes in the middle of the road. It could drop on your car or buses. Zoroastrian people do sky burial, but Zoroastrian people and Tibetans do sky burial. And so it's same with the church practice. According to church, you have to go do meditate in the channel grounds, right? In the West, there are channel grounds. I mean, we have graveyards, city graveyards, but they've got very sort of English style with lawn mows, green grass, cut everything, nice tombstones, especially the Italian tombstones, graveyards have got these little nice little small stone huts, and with the images of Jesus Christ or Mother Mary and the cross, Holy Cross, this and that. It's a different kind of channel ground or cemetery, right? So now, how do I, yogi or yogini or monk or nun, and meditate on this, do this kind of practice? Or if you're a church practitioner, how do you do this meditation? Okay, so you can meditate right now, sit here, think about all these. I got all these things in my body. This is channel ground. I will tell you one story. Very famous Kagyupa Lama master called Pamodrupa. Pamodrupa means one who achieved Vajrayogini. Pamo is Vajravarahi, Pamodrupa. Dongwen Pamodrupa. Pamodrupa had many disciples. All the 8 traditional Kagyu, it started from Pamodrupa. And Pamodrupa is the great master of Mahamudra tradition. And we as a Gelug practitioners, we have practiced 6 yogas in Naropa. Lama Tsongkhapa compiled this beautiful text called 3 Confidence. He did a code. He repeated over and over and about Pamodrupa's teachings and Gampopa's teachings, Milarepa's teachings. Dorji Chanchi Telo Narota, Marba Mela, Chuji Gampopa. To some shija, Kunchin Karma, Cheshi Chunji, Juban Zenum, Kaju Laman Sonde. My previous incarnations are Kagyu, Karma Kagyu. So I have a Kagyu, how should I say, inspiration connection, very special connection with the Kagyu lineage. And lots of devotion to Kagyu lineage, Karma Kagyu lineage. Now, Karmapa, 16 Karmapa recognized me when I was a little boy, as a Tulku. And anyway, so you see those stories in my autobiography. And so Pamudra was, he said, I'm going to India. I want to visit all the holy places. Bodh Gaya, Varanasi, Lumbini, a place where Lord Buddha was born, place where Lord Buddha enlightened, place where Buddha gave teachings. And then he said, I'm going to go, I want to meditate in the 8 charnel grounds in India. So that time, he had many disciples. One of Pamudruva's disciple called Lingreba. And Lingreba was concerned about his guru traveling through the mountains of Himalayas and treacherous road, and then so many bugs and malaria, insects, and disease, and unknown place, heat. He was worried that his guru may never survive, won't survive in India. So he's trying to discourage his guru, say, please don't go to India. So then he didn't know what to do. He wrote a beautiful poem. He said, Kora namdogi tungchina, tutu jisurungwashi tenada. Lama jawala mafi pamuturushu, drongun jawala mafi pamuturushu. So he says, Korwa namdogi tungchina. Samsara is the great city of superstitions. Korwa namdogi tungchina. Samsara is great city of superstition. In the samsara, there's the most scary charnel grounds, cemeteries. Therefore, Lama, you don't need to go to India. Visit all the 8 charnel grounds. And Lama, please stay in the Pamodu. Lama, Jagala Mafi, do not go to India. Stay in the Pamodu. Lama, Jagala Mafi, Pamodu Shuk. Stay in Pamodu. That's the place in Tibet. Pamodu. Dromgun Jagala Mafi, Pamodu Shuk. Dromgun, you are my guru. You are the Lord of all sentient beings. Do not go to India. Stay in Pamodu. So on and so forth. And then he says, I don't remember all those songs. Anyway, he said, you don't need to go to Bodh Gaya, Varanasi, and holy places. Holy places right at your heart. You are the enlightened one. Your heart is a holy place. Your body is holy. You are Hiruka, Chakra Sambhara. Your body is a house mandala of 64 Chakra Sambhara deities. Your body is the most holy place. You stay within your body, stay at the Pamodu. You don't need to go to India. He wrote this beautiful poem. And then Pamodu thought, you're right. You're right. So he changed his mind. So Lingdrepa managed to change the mind of his guru to stop him going to India. Stay in Pamodu. So this is an important poem because it says that you have 8 charnel grounds in your body. Your body is the city of samsara. Samsara is right here. So you don't need to go somewhere and meditate. You just meditate right now, here, be here now. Practice mindfulness of body, impermanence of the body. Again, a monk asked if he were to see a corpse in a charnel ground thrown aside, the bones whitened, looking like shells, the bones piled up, a year old, the bones rotted away to a powder, compares this body with that, thinking. So you should imagine, when you go to the charnel ground, some of the bones are old, they look like shells, and they're 1 year, 2 years old. And some of them crumbling, they turn into like ashes, like powder, right? Powder bones are that we call ashes, right? This body is of the same nature and will become like that. It is not exempt from that fate. So when you look at the body, if you have suffering from what do you call the bone problems like osteoporosis, osteoporosis, I'm not quite good with pronouncing those kind of words, technical Western terms, osteoporosis. So your body is slowly crumbling. And one of my friend, he died a few years ago. I was told his bones are so fragile. Every time when he moves, breaking must be unbelievable, must be so painful, right? So because his bones are degenerated, are suffering from osteoporosis, lack of no, no lack of calcium, lack of bone marrow. So bones are just breaking down. That's what happened, right? Slowly, and especially if you have a big body, it is more easy to break the body. It's like a tall tree. The wind comes, snap, break. The little trees, shrubs, they survive. They're tough. Little bonsai trees and little junipers and little trees up in the mountains, the wind blowing all the time. They even kind of grow like sideways. They're so tough, hanging into the rocks. But anyway, the bones are like so turn into like ashes. Okay, so now I will continue and finish this part of the meditation on insight. So insight teaching is the same as before. I won't read this. Usually sutras are repeating so many times. And contemplating vanishing phenomena in the body. He aside contemplating both arising and vanishing phenomena in the body. Or else mindfulness in that this is the body is present in him just to the extent necessary for knowledge and awareness. So this is the insight. So now how do you meditate on this? So the Buddha said, contemplate both arising and vanishing phenomena in the body. So at this very moment, our body is certain things are arising. For example, when you sit, meditate, and breathe, fresh breath coming, prana coming, old prana leaving. Like that, renewing the body, fresh blood arising, fresh vitality, strength, energy, nutrition, chi, and vitality, and so on. Elements, earth, water, fire, wind, all rising. And then the old ones vanishing, happening at the very same time. So you meditate on this. So I talked a lot about the body, about the corpses and the bones and this and that. And it sounds a bit negative. But also you have to think about at this same time, when if you are a healthy person, you do yoga, you do exercise, do tai chi, qigong, and prostrations, and follow the good diet, and meditate on the regularly, and be in the nature as much as possible. Have a quality of life instead of a quantity of life, and then all the good energies rising. Earth, water, fire, wind, prana, chi. Everything is refreshing. The meditation is refreshing your mind. Meditation is a vitamin for the mind. Meditation is good food for the mind. Okay. Meditation is also vitamin and food for the body as well. Internal vitamin, internal nutrition, supplements. You don't have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars, go to health food stores and this and that. You just meditate. See? Those Taoist yogis sit in the mountains, eating the essence of the vegetable, like ginseng and so on and so forth. Fresh air, qigong practice. Tibetan yogis, Milarepa ate only nettles. Lama Jawa Insaba, Tibetan Gelupa, great Gelug master, Jawa Insaba, he only eat juniper berries. That sounds a little bit like Life O'Brien. And eating only juniper berries, sitting in the pit for 18 years. And you saw Life O'Brien movie. I have seen that too. Always look on the broad soil of Lloyd. And so Jawa Insaba says, Ngaduji Melareba, Taduji Losan Tundu Ni. He says, previously Milareba, today Losan Tundu. He said, I am like Milareba. Jawa Insaba Tinisundo, Ngaduji Melareba, Taduji Losan Tawani. That's so. Karisha, Namta Dagmarwa. Doing you bola, Chipa Chicken, you so. Then Jawa Losan Tundu, Jawa Insaba Losan Tundu. That's a Shuba Ducho, Shuba and Ducho, Shumdupa, Shupa and the Pabe, Shupa, Injicala Juniper berry signal. Juniper berry is a kind of nice taste, and he ate that. That's why he got nicknamed Lama Shumduba. Shumdu is the juniper berry. And Jawa Insaba is one of the 7 lamas in the Gelug tradition who achieved rainbow body at the end of their life. Their body disappears, transformed into rainbow. Jawa Insaba. And they belong to the Ganden air whisper lineage. The direct teaching comes from Manjushri to Lama Oma Papawa Dorje, Lama Tsongkhapa, and Dodin Jambaja to Tujin Chö Dorje, and Jawa Insaba, Kedu Sanji Ishi, Penchelo Sanchi, and so on and so forth. These great lamas. So, okay, so here, and it present to him just to the extent necessary for knowledge and awareness. So you have to meditate on this body, cultivate knowledge of body, impermanence of the body, and the beauty of this body, and awareness of this body. This body is a precious body. So I've been talking lots about the corpse and impermanent and this and that. And we're not trying to say, look, this body is no good, no use, and this and that. Yes, but you have to cherish this body. According to Dharma, Buddhism, we say, precious human rebirth, precious, this body is very precious. In one lifetime, we have only one body, right? Because this body is so precious, therefore, we have to preserve this body, maintain this body. Otherwise, the body is impermanent constantly. We have all these obstacle problems in the body. And we're dependent, our body, mind, dependent on all the phenomena, external, internal phenomena. And so therefore, meditation, mindfulness of body, this is the whole point. Meditation on the body, mindfulness of body is extremely important. Okay? You don't want to become neurotic, just looking at the body, all thinking about body all the time. That's not the point here. We don't want this way. We want to develop impermanence and emptiness, and at the same time, the precious human body. This body as the source of enlightenment. This mind is source of enlightenment. This human body is very unique body. We have chakras, channels. We have 72,000 channels, and chakras and channels. Okay, and we can do body mandala and so forth. So, and he abides independent, not clinging to anything in the world, and that, monks, is how a monk abides contemplating body as a body. This is how the monk or nun or lay person, meditator, should cultivate awareness of the body, mindfulness of body. Okay, I will leave it here now. And thank you very much. We have time for about 9 minutes. If you have any questions about mindfulness in general, mindfulness practice, and mindfulness of body, most welcome. Gesundheit.
Thank you. Okay, so just waiting for questions here.
Takes a little while, people, to gathering the questions.
Come in.
Yeah, because we're meditating too much on the body, not the mind. Trying to. Where is my mind now? For 45 minutes.
That's another meditation.
Or hour and a half, talking about hour. Lama is talking about body.
Is anybody there? Oh, there we go. Alyssa Rabinowitz asks, what to do if pain makes you always aware of your body? So you're overwhelmed by your pain.
Aware of your body?
Yeah, and you're always aware of the pain in your body.
Well, when you're aware of the pain in your body, then that sounds very familiar. I know that myself, although I don't have chronic illness, pain. But you have little pain here and there. I got little pain here and there sometimes due to old age. So that time, wherever you have the pain, think about what shall I do to release myself, liberate myself from this pain. So what you should do, you should get some help. You do something for yourself. You could go get a massage, chiropractor, or acupuncture, and moksha bastion, and whatever you can do, somebody can do for you. If you know yourself what to do, you can do that. And then take maybe some medicine, painkiller, herbs, and Western medicine right away.
Okay, thank you. Susan Brown asks, is it best to do mind and body practices together, or should we do one separately and then do another one?
No, step by step. See, if she's talking about mindfulness of mind, that's the third topic. There are four mindfulness. First, mindfulness of body. Second, mindfulness of feeling. Third, mindfulness of mind. Fourth, mindfulness of phenomena, object of mind. These are the four mindfulness. So far, I've been teaching only mindfulness of body, including the breath. Next Sunday morning, I will teach mindfulness feelings. Then the week, Sunday after that, I will talk about mindfulness of mind. So you practice step by step, not together. Body, mind, don't put them together. Although body, mind are together. But when you do meditate, practice mindfulness, better to do one at a time.
Good, thank you. Amanda asks, for novices or beginner meditators, when they're doing mindfulness of breathing, they get frustrated because it's hard for them to keep focus and their attention on the breath. Their mind wanders so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that they can do to help them support that, to keep their mind focused, or
yes,
is there a way of encouragement?
Well, it's a normal for everybody, beginners. And as I said, when you breathe in, feel the abdomen rising and falling. This is how it helps. And then also, you put your hand placed on your abdomen like this, rising, falling, rising, falling. That helps to focus. And also, Tibetan technique, you count the breath. Breathe in and out, 1. Breathe in and out, 2. Breathe in and out, 3, up to 21 times. And then start again. This will help you not to get frustrated and not distracted your mind. But the problem is this person is impatient. That's his problem. Because you have to be patient with your mind. You have to be patient with your breath. You have to be patient with your body. You have to be patient with your meditation. Patience is a virtue, as we say in the West, right? we have said the same. We have said same saying in the East. Zopa gom, Tibetan word is zopa gom. Meditate on patience. So why are you hurrying somewhere? Why you're so frustrated? You look at yourself. I'm frustrated because you have some expectation. You think, oh, I want the result of meditation right away. I want to become good meditator right away. It's not going to happen right away. You're a novice. Everything takes time. And why are you rushing? Don't expect so many results right away. You have to be humble. Accept who you are, what is happening. Be patient and humble. Don't be arrogant. Don't argue with yourself. Don't argue with the teacher. Don't argue with meditation master. Don't argue with your own mind. And just be humble, be patient, accept as it is. Ajahn Buddhadasa, my teacher, said, cup, Thai word, Thai language in Thailand, cup means yes. So you sit there, meditate, focus your mind on breath. When you breathing is good. Cup, yeah, good. Then, if the teacher is saying, okay, do you understand? In Basa Thai, khao chai mai, do you understand? You say, Kap kun kap? Yes, sir, I understand. The teacher said to you, khao chai mai, kap kun kap? Or you say, kap kun krap? Depends on pronunciation from different parts of China. You have to say, yes, sir. Do you understand? Yes, sir.
Going up.
That's it.
Thank you. Oya asks, in completing the body meditation, is it best to finish with a strong mind of renunciation or develop awareness of gratitude for this precious human body, or both?
Both.
So Bonnie asks, dear Rinpoche, in meditation, you said we watch the abdomen rising and falling. Then there's a pause on the breath before it starts again. Can you comment on that space, please? The gap.
Pause and breathe in and breathe out. Where is the pause?
I think she means at the end of the breath. Before you breathe in again, there's a bit of a gap.
I don't see the gap.
Okay.
I don't see the gap.
All right then.
If you practice mindfulness of mind, when you're doing Mahamudra, there is a gap in your mind. Gap between the previous thoughts that came and gone and the thought that haven't arrived yet, there is a gap. But when you're breathing like this, Breathe in. It's constantly going around like this, cycle. No, I don't see gap. There is no gap.
Okay.
Maybe you want gap. You should not have a gap. No gap.
Just keep breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Don Connolly asks, can we do this practice when we are dying, providing we have mental capacity?
Mindfulness breathing,
Yes.
or talking about meditation corpse.
He just says this practice. So maybe it's the corpse practice.
Mm-hmm.
Because talking about dying.
Well, when you dying, you don't need to meditate and visualize corpse and this and that. You are going there. You are already become a corpse. Your body becoming a corpse. It's already disintegrating. And mind is dissolving. You don't need to think about my body is getting corpse, becoming corpse. And unless you have problem with attachment to this body, attachment to your belongings, possessions, attachment to your family and friends, then you meditate on impermanence while you're dying. Say, I'm going now. Like Krishnamurti said, I'm expired. So just forget it. Okay? And but I'm not clear to Don's question. So if he's talking about breathing, yes. So you say, okay, I'm dying. Focus my mind on the breath. Breathe in and out, in and out. And I heard a beautiful story about Venerable Geshe Thupten when he was passing away. He said to his disciple, I am going to pass away like the Buddha did. Bring my yellow rope. So he lied down on the right side, down, body completely like a reclining Buddha, put the rope on his body. And then one of his students and said, give me your hand, holding his hand. And then he's breathing in, breathing out, in, and breathing out. Then he says, this is impermanent. This is impermanent. This is death and dying. And slowly, quietly, then gone. And one of his disciples said, oh, Geshe, you're dying. What can we do? What can you do? This is impermanent. This is impermanent. And Geshe is gone. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you do that. Focus your mind on the breath. But if you are tantric practitioner, GT yoga practitioner, this time is time for, if your mind is clear, this is the perfect time for you to Pova practice, ejecting your consciousness to the heart of Prajna Paramita, ejecting your consciousness of Vajrayogini Pure Land. Say the 8 verses to praises to Eruka, Chakra Sambhara, and Vajrayogini. You sing those songs and eject your consciousness. Imagine your consciousness now ascending to Pure Land of Hiruka, Chakra Sambhara. This is the time, perfect time. Just way better than focusing your mind on the breath. We breathe in and out all our life. This is the end.
Okay.
Cup.
Okay, that looks like about it.
Good. All right. Thank you very much. And see you this afternoon at Lojong teaching if you are coming to the teaching. Good. So see you later. Thank you.